Hey guys, welcome to Pillbox Movies. I'm Hank, and today we're going to be watching the 2012 documentary Stories We Tell. Stories We Tell, I'd heard about this because its director is Sarah Polley, a Canadian film actress. Sarah Polley was in the Dawn of the Dead remake, she was in Go. I thought that she was in the Carrie TV remake in 2002, the one that was written by Brian Fuller, but apparently that was Angela Bettis, so fuck me, I guess. The thing I mainly know her for now is the 2017 adaptation of Alias Grace, directed by Mary Herron, starring fellow Canadian actress Sarah Gadon.
Give me your attention, baby.
I've known about Stories We Tell for a while now. Despite it being a documentary, it is apparently a spoiler film, so if you wish to avoid spoilers for this movie, go to this timestamp. I had managed to avoid spoilers for this movie for about maybe four years, maybe 5, until I did the preliminary research for this video. And so here we find ourselves now, but we're just gonna shovel on. So we're gonna watch Stories We Tell and see what's up.
When you're in the middle of a story, it isn't a story at all, but only a confusion, a dark roaring.
That is me editing these videos.
A wreckage of shattered glass and splintered wood. It's only afterwards that it becomes anything like a story at all, when you're telling it to yourself or to someone else.
Alias Grace, oh my gosh!
So, Dad, can you tell the whole story, the marriage to Mum, and everything that happened since?
Mum,
What do you
oh my
think
gosh.
of this documentary being made?
It's nervous. I don't think it's a good idea.
Can I?
A lot of people have been, so.
You know, I guess I have this sort of instinctive reaction of like, who cares about our family, right? Can I swear?
Oh, well, Mom, she was the most fun I could think of as a child. She was infectious, enthusiastic, and excited about everything.
My
people who have a
memory
good
of
relationship
Mom
with their parents,
is-
tag yourselves.
You can't talk about Diane, I don't think, without talking about her laugh.
And as we're walking, you know, she'd be ahead of me, trying to tell me why
I love
everything was in
that.
disarray.
Oh my gosh.
Whenever
I
I'd
love
see
taking
her,
these
it seemed
videos
as
of this
though,
woman just like running away.
something was going wrong.
As I understand it,
I like this setup. This is like
Mom was doing plays
being
and she met
related
Michael
to
in
or
one of those
married
plays,
to or having a
and she
relationship
instantly
with
sort of fell in love with him.
In 1965,
a kind
Michael
of
played Mick in the
non-threatening
Caretaker's
Walter
North
White.
American premiere.
They talked at a party afterwards, and they got into some
Mischief.
weird discussion where
Thank
Dad
you.
offered her a drive home.
Yes, I did offer to drive her home. I said I got a
Slick.
Mercedes-Benz sports car sitting outside if you want to ride home.
Dad admitted that he didn't have a car there. In fact, he didn't even drive. And Mum was the one that had a car.
I wanna be this
So
person at
somehow
cast
in the
parties.
story, they're both lying to go home with each other.
Michael decided to purchase a movie camera and to record their belated
Oh,
honeymoon
so
in
this has been
England.
the husband this entire
Watching
time.
it, several features of his work become apparent. I gather that Diane did once say that on that trip, he spent more time gripping the camera than he did holding her.
You're such a dick!
Every day I wake up and I hope you're dead!
In 1978, she came to me one day and she said, I've been offered a part in a play called O Toronto, which is going to take place in Montreal. And she said to me, what do you think? In truth, he was more than agreeable. He was delighted. Like many marriages, perhaps most, this one had grown stale.
Part of going to Montreal and doing the play was trying to sort of get out of her life. You know, she hated living in Toronto. She wanted to live in Montreal or somewhere else. She always thought Toronto was such a reserved city and everybody was so, you know, work ethic. People live to work instead of work to live, which has always been more the Montreal kind of thing. So it was like a way of her getting away from that and doing what she really wanted to do, which was stage.
Just think about all all these places we'll want to visit again once all this is over.
And after the long separation, they were almost like newlyweds. A few weeks later, she saw her doctor, who confirmed her pregnancy. When she came home to tell Michael, she was clearly upset. I've talked to the doctor, and the doctor says it's a bit dangerous because of my age. I said, oh, so what are you going to do? And she said, well, I think I should seriously consider having an abortion. Diane did arrange to go to the hospital for an abortion. And we were actually on the way down when she changed her mind. She suddenly said, I can't go ahead with this. That's amazing, isn't it? I mean, how close
to not having you
we were to you never existing. After Sarah's birth, Diane and Michael did not act together again until the play Filomena by Eduardo de Filippo. Diane was to play the title role with Michael as the husband. Someone had seen them together in The Condemned of Altona and had decided it would be nice to see them together on stage once more. And so Diane and Michael played out their final act together, though not knowing that it was just that.
Okay. It's a cute bunny.
Oh!
Did anyone know she was going to die?
What? Yeah, we all knew. Did anyone know she was going to die? Well, when she had cancer? Mm-hmm. Yeah? Did you know? No, you didn't know.
She was just a mess. She was very, very, very frightened. With so much energy, all of her energy was going into her uncertainty and her fear and unhappiness.
I think in retrospect, after Mum died, Dad was depressed. You know, he seemed very rational about it, as he always does. But the whole thing about him playing solitaire all the time and being even more isolated than usual all suggests that he just sort of shut down.
I think the most realistic image you will ever get of an American adult, male adult, an American man, is Reverend Lovejoy in The Simpsons, playing with his trains in his den, in his more tune than Travis Bickle in his taxi cab in Taxi Driver, is Reverend Lovejoy playing with trains alone in a dimly lit den with a full family upstairs.
And the other children had gone away. Suddenly there was just you and I left. Luckily I had you there to look after as well as to look after me. You know, you were, what were you, 11 then? The next few years, our relationship, I think, was a great period for my life.
Oh, I love that.
It certainly was an unusual relationship, too, in the sense that it's not very often that a father and a daughter are so close because of circumstances. And so, in a way, I felt closer to you than I'd ever felt about the other children because there'd always been Diane there as well. Suddenly, there was myself and this little girl. There were 4 or 5 very close years we had together then.
Guys, just communicate with the people you love.
And he remembers how one day someone said that Sarah
should be an actress.
Not look at all like her father.
Oh no! Oh no!
It's time to go back many years.
Oh no!
Johnny was worried because we used to often have dinner together on weekends. Probably Johnny started by saying, "You don't look much like your father."
Oh, Jesus.
I think it was Johnny. I want to say it was Johnny. And
we've got a Joffrey Baratheon situation.
The first of us who knew.
She actually looks like Joffrey Baratheon.
Stupidly mentioned it.
The entire family
Mark,
looks like Robert Baratheon. I can't.
My lawyer has said I don't have to talk to you. Your father might be someone that Mum had acted with in a play.
And I told them not to say anything to anyone, but then they turned it into a joke.
Sarah laughed.
Poor Joffrey.
They all laughed, and the comparisons became a recurring source of amusement.
Oh no.
Was it Tom, or Wayne, or Jeff?
It's Jeff.
Take back that one line.
Yeah. Was it Tom?
It's Jeff.
Wayne, or Jeff?
Do you remember the name of the actor in the play who she thought might be my father?
Yes, of course I remember his name.
This is the hottest tea.
I mean, it was Jeff Bowes.
I think it was Jeff Bowes.
There was I guess, an actor named Jeff Bowes.
Jeff Bowes.
I'm mortified.
She decided it was time to take the plunge. She phoned Jeff and asked if they could meet.
You called.
Oh, God.
And we arranged to meet.
So, since I was 18, there was this rumor that you were my biological father. So it's been this like bizarre thing. It's like how that rumor began, where did it come from?
It was friendship. Yeah, I remember you saying, being surprised at you saying, it's common knowledge in my family that my mom was in love with you. But yeah.
Everything Jeff said suggested he was certain that Diane had stayed faithful to Michael. But that seed of doubt had grown even larger in her mind. She thought he was a lovely, open and generous person,
Who was
and
a
yet she
liar.
felt he was hiding something.
I made my way to the Magus Cafe, and there you were.
I like these
Sat down and we
Discovery
began to chat.
idea
You said that
recreations.
You had wanted to meet me because your mother had talked about me a lot. And then we talked about a million things. You told me how you had quit school at 15.
Oh, really?
One of the dominating reasons was your politics at the time and your desire to join the class struggle. That struck me as very interesting because I had done exactly the same
Oh,
thing.
wow.
And we became very close during that conversation. We found a whole number of things
I
in
would
common
love to be able to
in
express
terms of
myself to a
feelings,
stranger with this
reactions,
kind of earnestness.
You asked him the question. Have you ever heard anything about my mom having had an affair while she was in Montreal?
You sort of looked up and you said, do you think it was Jeff Bowen? So I said, no.
Yes,
She said,
he
"You
has
know
the
who it
cup
was?"
scene in
I
The
said,
Usual
"Yes."
Suspects.
No, I know that Jeff Bowes isn't your dad. And you said, how do you know that?
Because
I
I'm
said, because I'm your dad.
He said,
I thought that's why you wanted to speak to me, because your mom and I had an affair.
In fact, she had an affair with me.
And I said, me. And you said, do you still think so? And I said, after talking to you and looking at you for close to 3 hours, yes. I said, what do you think? And you said,
Mamma mia, here we go again.
Sarah is speechless. She's come all this way to find out about Jeff. And now she's sitting with her mother's lover.
How am I supposed to provide cogent commentary to this?
it was late
Okay, so obviously I can't.
of 1978. I was
This is really difficult for me because I can't really analyze this as a film. In some ways, I have to approach this as like a screenplay.
the latest production.
There aren't really remarkable like filmic techniques like mise en scène or whatever to try and like describe like what's how meaning is conveyed effectively within this, but it is interesting to observe it in a screenplay
And I decided to have
from a
night
screenplay
cap,
lens.
what I considered then my
The
dream repertoire,
the revelation of information in this, I mean, it falls in the kind of like it's going into the melodramatic territory, and I mean melodrama
this lady who'd been on stage
in like the
cast member,
19th century sense, like
sidled
George Bernard Shaw.
I was able to inveigle myself into the conversation.
It's interesting to see how Sarah Polley, as a writer, is kind of distributing and withholding information in the same vein as like Aaron Sorkin. This is kind of like an Aaron Sorkin-ish kind of plot unraveling kind of narrative. She's I don't know. It's hard to tell because like this happened in real life, but who knows how much of it is edited towards like a storytelling format, towards a narrative format. In fact, that was actually like now I'm remembering remembering that was the first line of dialogue in this, was that quote from Margaret Atwood that a story is just a story at its conclusion, and in the middle it is only confusion and disarray. But it is interesting to see how Polley is taking this melodramatic approach in unraveling information. This is a wild ride. I don't think I'm even halfway through this movie yet.
When you're in love like that, you become utterly selfish. You know, like nothing that's happening to anyone else matters at all, or is a matter of any consideration. You just end up sort of focused, intense.
Tag yourself.
And just wanting to consume the object of your love, and nothing else exists. It was complex and difficult. She had this passionate attachment to her kids and to her husband. She also had this
want to go back to the
attachment
part
me.
with
And I had an attachment which was completely
how much Sarah
crazy.
Polley's father loves her.
Just
It's just too complicated for me.
Full of life.
I just want the father-daughter thing.
You just wanted to be
That's where
there.
we're getting to in the end again.
Just
It's
wanted
going to
to
resolve
be there.
like Mamma Mia. It's going to be some sort of resolution with her biological father, and then a true resolution with her the father that raised her.
Clashes can develop, although I suspect that it would have been okay. I know it would have been okay. I remember at Diane's funeral, they said, you know, anybody can speak, so if you want to speak, you can speak.
Oh, man.
I thought would be very stupid in what capacity I should speak, so I didn't.
Okay.
She was speaking of Diane, and then she said, and you know, sometimes Diane was a flirt, but her heart belonged to Michael.
I want to be him at this funeral. This seems like the most
On the way
intense
out,
personal
after the ceremony, your
event.
Aunt Anne, Michael's sister, she said to me, you see, Harry, her heart really belonged to Michael. Figured I really better back right off, which I did. But I found that very upsetting.
That's me at a
her
party.
dying upsetting. Then I found my inability in those circumstances to do a proper farewell and to be part
Any
of
of you
it,
who are
something
writers
that
out
I
there,
felt
you
bad
need to
about.
write this character.
Regret it.
Whenever Harry spoke of Diane, from the beginning he mentioned that she had had a daughter as a result of their affair. So it was always in the background. But all those years that he never saw you, it was never discussed. Whenever I'd see articles about you or anything, I'd say, Harry, did you see the article? Just so that he'd be aware of what was happening. But the day when he went down to meet you and came home, it was like the world changed. He was so happy.
I need a pause. Oh my god. I have nothing valuable to say, but watching this man be able to connect with his biological daughter after all these years, and I really feel for this guy. Like, he was talking earlier about how two things, about how connected he was to this woman, to Diane, and how she was like his entire life, that when you fall in love with somebody, your life becomes encapsulated by them, and they're your only thought. And secondly, he said that when you have an affair, you want witnesses. To a certain degree, I think emotionally, in his life at this time, if we could go back to the Inside Out analogy again, when he formed this relationship with Diane, he created this like emotional island that was separate from everything else in his life. It was a new formation that had. It wasn't just an island, it was a continent. It kept branching out. But the pivot point, the means of access was this one woman that he had like fully enmeshed himself in. Being in a relationship with her opened him to this whole other world, continent, island of relationships. There's relationships to her friends and to her family and to his family with her. And when she died, that entire life was, and world, and those relationships specifically to his biological daughter were severed, and out of a sense of duty or respect, he had no means of accessing it. And so it's really gratifying to see
he could have a
and
relationship.
be able to reconnect with her.
So his whole world
and
changed after that
open up
cafe
this
meeting
whole
with you.
part
Through
of
all
his
the
life
years
and
that
world
never happened.
that he had
never
no access
complained.
to
He never
before.
said, "I wish."
This movie is so stupid. I'm mad. This is too late in the evening for me to be dealing with this.
Long show. She opened the registered letter and read the results. It recorded that Harry
You're a
Gulpin was Sarah
wizard,
Polley's
Harry.
biological father, and that the test results were 99% certain.
99.97%. Sure, that was the level of probability.
Hi, Harry. Still thinking about the weekend. It was so great to meet Kathy and spend some time with you.
Oh, I'm
I
having
think
a
our
break.
Passover plans are all in order. First time I've ever written that. I'm having a strange onslaught of guilt about my dad and all this.
Don't worry, he's coming at the
Sorting
end
it
of
through,
this.
but it's not at all easy or uncomplicated, as you warned. I'm sure time will make things clearer and easier.
Yeah.
Looking forward to seeing you again soon.
Nothing could change about her love for Michael or for those who had suddenly become half-sisters and half-brothers. But now she had an entire new half-family to get to know.
Yeah.
Soon after
Who's
reading that
filming
registered
these
letter,
things?
Sarah
I'm
tells the
like-
news to her brothers and sisters, and the question of whether I should be told is now raised. And you were sitting on the opposite side of the table from me, obviously waiting for me to finish, but I didn't think you had anything important to say. I thought we were just going to chat. When I suddenly realized, my God, what she's saying is that I'm not actually her biological father. It couldn't be. I'm dreaming. I was quite stunned. My God, all this stuff we've been joking about for years, it's actually true. And put your arm around my shoulder and said, "No, I'm so glad it
Okay, I
doesn't
think
make
you
any
might be
difference." does it?"
leading him a little bit.
And I
but
was, I thought it was funny, you know,
It
that's
is
the closest
comforting
we've
to
been
put your
in
arm
quite a
around
few
him.
years, to put your arm around
And
me
that's
and
the right
say,
response.
"Well, Dad, it doesn't make any difference."
During my relationship with Diane, which was open to her friends, but in fact was
aspect of
utterly
it
constrained by the reality of her marital situation. And I found that at the time oppressive. I guess I have felt in this sort of a bit of an echo.
Release. Oh, yeah.
I felt constrained, inhibited, and sort of pinched in my relationship to you because of the private way in which we were dealing with it. The atmosphere got a little heavy there.
There was the honeymoon period. There was the difficult period
It's actually
when
quite
I would
interesting. You
hear
can
the
feel
tones
the
of
wheels,
voices
because
on
this
the
is in a
exchange,
documentary
that there
format,
was
you can
tension.
feel the wheels coming
So
off
this
the
is in
rails
this
a little
perfect
bit.
relationship, the perfect papa, the
So for
perfect
this kind of
daughter,
story,
everything's
the
perfect, and
format
it's no
of
longer
it,
perfect.
we already kind of like
Hi there,
have
Harry. I'm
a
just
perfect
extremely
example
uncomfortable at
of
being
how
involved in the
this
telling
would
of
be
this story
resolved in
unless
an
it includes the whole
emotionally
picture.
recuperative and
Which is to say my
fulfilling
experience of it,
and cathartic
your
way.
experience of it,
And that is
as well as my
the
family's.
musical/movie Mamma Mia. We've already pushed past that point. We're at a point where her relationship with her biological father is now splintering and fracturing a little bit, and her relationship with her father who raised her is tense or is non-communicative for reasons that are outside of this event. And so we've gotten to this point where it's trying to close the loop in on itself. I feel like we're in a time traveling movie where heroes are quickly trying to solve the paradox before the universe implodes on itself. And so you can like start to feel how she as a filmmaker wants to put an artificial button on this, that hopefully in creating this documentary she'll find the ending for this piece, and if a resolution comes at the end of this, it won't be as emotionally satisfying as the build-up has led you to want and crave. It's not to say that it'll be bad, just to say that it'll probably be more neat than it will be satisfying. Is she taking B-roll while being mic'd up?
In terms of the basic question, can one get at the truth? You can certainly get very close to it, but you have to limit it to those who are involved in the event. I mean, Diane's not here to talk to. I mean, that's really the only person who could provide. I mean, the essence, the essentials.
See, that is that is the emotional crux of his version of the story.
So
That
all of that
he like
debate,
wants to
and
reconnect
then we
with
started
Diane,
here
but I
yesterday.
don't feel that
I
coming from
somehow
Sarah
feel that
Polley.
we've cleared
Like
up
Sarah
some of the
Polley is
smoke.
not interested
Maybe it's been
in
cleared away.
recapturing this person
The
that she
reality
lost.
is, essentially,
Her
the story with Diane, I
her
regret to say,
in this is
it's
her
only mine to
relationship
tell.
with her biological father and
And I
her
think that's a fact.
her true father. This is the divergence in their two stories.
Now,
like
my
his version of the
recollections
story is
may be
about
faulty
Diane,
at times,
her
but I'm not
version
going
is
to lie.
not.
The love that I shared with Diane 30 years ago was so intense and so lasting. It all came back to me and got wrapped up in my affection for you.
Yeah, so
I became crazy about
this is
you
an interesting
saying-
way of pivoting, of her attaching her need for an emotional resolution with him, in his need for an emotional resolution with her mother. Like Sarah, kind of very apparently in this, has no emotional investment in the truth about her mother. You really get a sense that she's not like emotionally attached to that. You can tell that her she wants to base the emotional weight on how the
My
two
dear Sarah,
her two fathers react
when
to
you make a
this.
documentary about your
But
own
one is
discovery of
incredibly
a new
withholding,
father,
and one
are you doing so
is
to avoid your own deeper
interruptive
concerns
to
of
the
its
degree
real
of wanting
impact
to
on
change
you?
the narrative.
Is that why you describe it as a search for the vagaries of truth and the unreliability of memory, rather than a search for a father?
Yeah. There you go.
Hey, Dad. I've been thinking a lot about your last email. Maybe you're right. Maybe there is something underneath my need to make this film that I've been denying. Every time I
Yeah.
feel I have my footing, I lose it.
Yeah.
What did you say to her?
What?
With that time that we each had alone with her, what did you say to her?
Don't know. Probably that I missed her, that I would miss her, that I loved her, and would never forget her. That's about all.
See, she's not interested in what the actual memory of her mother is. She's interested in getting her father to open up emotionally.
Death she was the
But she can't. Oh, that's so unfortunate.
That's it's a dire line of questioning. Surely we must find a way of making it more funny.
I hate this. Oh my god. The
What
wall
are
he
you,
puts
some
up
kind of sadistic
is so
interviewer?
high.
You told me I had to break you down more.
Yeah, well, you've done it, haven't you?
No,
There was no
you
acting
haven't.
in any of that.
Oh my god. Their relationship is so fraught, and I
No
don't
acting
understand
at all.
why.
You see what a vicious director you are. Now you understand, don't you? I remember that day when you directed me in a ridiculous montage piece that you were doing
He's
when you were at the
deflecting
Clemson,
right
where you
now.
made me walk down into a pool.
He
of
doesn't want to
freezing
confront his
cold
emotions
water,
about
wearing
these things,
full
so he's
clothes.
lashing out at her.
Keep going
In
further
like a
down,
really
Dad.
friendly, like distracting
Go any
way,
further
but it's still
down,
a
my
deflection.
clothes are holding me up. Just keep going.
And she has to settle with this.
It's so annoying. Oh, it's a
She
very
just
little
has to
thing
be
to
like,
ask
well,
of you.
this
All
is
I
my
want
dad.
you to do is go a foot under
Well,
the
and
water.
this is a comedy.
Here I am trying to do a montage, and my father is causing trouble. You may decide you want to keep this letter to yourself or to share it. It's yours,
I
and
know
yours
this
the
is supposed
choice.
to be a happy ending,
You know, look, while telling me your
but
news
I'm
on
terribly
Thursday, you
upset
twice
by
hugged me
this.
as hard as you ever did in your childhood. That alone made your revelation worth 1,000 words. So, there you have it.
Can you
All
just
I know
hug
of
your
what
daughter
happened,
back? This was supposed to be a happy ending, and I really don't consider it this. I don't really think that this process has revealed like some sort of repair of their relationship. And if it has, it's only in like efforts made on her behalf. I don't know. I'm being really way too way too harsh on him, and I'm sure he's made efforts in the way that he can, or he knows how to. But this is kind of like a really unfortunate end of a father who is unable to embrace the change that his daughter's trying to initiate to better their relationship, because she has such a clear framework with her biological father, where it's not like they agree or are in cahoots all the time, but at least in my view, Harry works really hard, or is by nature incredibly transparent, and discloses his feelings and his views to his daughter in such a way that she understands him and feels that she has access to him. And with Michael, it just never seemed to be the case. Documentaries are such a crapshoot, man. You go into it having such a good hook, but never knowing if you're going to sink the buzzer beater that you hope you will. There are just some great documentaries that will never have the ending because they were made in medias res. It's really rare that you capture lightning in a bottle, that you get those moments like with the gagging at the end of an act of killing, or with the burping that Robert, I forgot his name, in the Jinx, at the end of the Jinx, with the burping and the admission afterwards. It's really rare to catch lightning in a bottle like that, and you hope for that as a documentary going out and making a project, but it's never guaranteed. But yeah, that was Stories We Tell. I actually think you should check it out if you haven't. I mean, like, despite the ending, you did see me burst into tears watching this. If you like this video, like, share, subscribe, watch some documentaries, get some of that good knowledge in your life. Talk to your parents, say I love you to the people in your life, express affection and warmth physically, verbally, let people into your life, trust people, go out in the world. Yeah. Keep watching great movies.
I don't think your mother was elated that she was pregnant. I do not think so. No, I do not think so. I do not. I do not.